This is AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling, where Will, my wonderful, wonderful co-host and BFF, and I get together and we talk about all the kind of amazing things with all the amazing people at AEW, because this is where the best wrestle. Y'all know it.
Really
we know it. It's an incredible place. Like, I'm so stoked. Like, September has been wild. We did our Philly residency after we got back from London. We just had All Out. Like, we did our little Canada tour. I'm so excited. There's been so much that going on here.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't know. I feel this is always such an interesting time in professional wrestling in general and in AEW when you start to hit the fall and things really start ramping up as we start to really wrap up the year. And, you know, we're in this last third of the year. We're about to approach the final quarter. It's an exciting time. And don't forget, folks, AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck, and you can collect your favorite wrestlers in 2025 Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. You can unwrap autograph memorabilia or premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. I've got these great brand new Metal Universe cards.
Brother,
they're so great. Yeah, you open a pack right now, and right off the bat, are you kidding me? Tony Storm, right off the bat.
Tony
Smooth.
Oh my God, one of my favorite people in the world.
And then we've got, look at this, Cash Wheeler.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that one.
Shining here. Always shining. We got Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah. I think the shining thing, I want to hit on that a little bit, because this is the new Metal Universe pack, and all of these cards are literally reflective. It's kind of hard because my ring light's like hiding a lot of them. But it's fun because I've been pulling up a lot of them and realizing how many like amazing individuals we have that we see in tag team and trios format at AEW. And because of the people that we have, there's so much history that we have with the old version of Ring of Honor and this version of Ring of Honor. And like, because trios has meant so much. And with the Metal Universe pack, we've got these amazing like little trios cards, which is awesome. So we get to highlight all the Death Riders. You got the Death Riders. I got the Learning Tree. I also have the Young Bucks here with Jack Perry, which is absolutely incredible. And more importantly, I've got Shane Taylor Promotions. We've got Shane Taylor. We've got Anthony Ogogo. We've got Lee Moriarty. An incredible trio, but they've grown recently and they've added a couple members. So now we get a couple more iterations and combinations within that trio. Speaking of which, Will, who do we have today?
Well, joining us today, and they've got the gold on hand, or at least Carlie does.
Come on,
because we got two. Oh no, he's going to grab it right now. Here we go.
You know, we ready? Come on, son.
Let's do it. Let's see it, Captain.
He's so new at the idea of being a champion.
Hey, come on, man. Stop playing with me.
Hey, here we go. We got 2/3 of the Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions.
Yes,
we have got the Infantry representing Shane Taylor Promotions. But beyond that, they've been the Infantry for quite some time, and it's so good to have them here on AEW Unrestricted. What's up? Carlie Bravo, Shawn Dean.
What's up, Bubba?
Look,
how you doing, buddy? You look good over there.
Thank you. Look, these are two of our favorite guys in all of professional wrestling, period. But to finally get to have you guys on this show as a unit, let's talk about it right now. First off, you've got the gold. You've got the belts right here. 2/3 of the Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions.
Right.
You know, it's been a long time coming. I feel like if I actually looked at the stats, I would bet you no one in the modern era of Ring of Honor has had more title shots than you guys. And
probably.
And to see,
we've been at it. We've been going crazy.
But here it is. We finally got to see the moment. We got to see it at Death Before Dishonor, and you walked away with the titles. How was that moment for you guys, winning the belts alongside Shane Taylor?
Best moment ever. Best moment ever. I mean, the crowd was going crazy. I mean, for real crazy, right? Like crazy, right? ECW Arena. I'm there with the boy. I'm there with Shane. The whole gang was there. That was incredible. That's what you want, right? You want the 1, 2, 3, the explosion, and then you want the and new, right? That's what everybody does this for. And to have that was that was verification, man.
And yeah, for us, man, it's a testament to of just the hard work that we've been putting in, on the screen, behind the scenes, just in our training and everything that we've been doing. We may not be like full AEW originals from day one, but from 2020 on forward, we've been in the trenches for real,
Yes.
So
yeah,
we've been down since just going at it. We talking about pandemic just right before we came on, and yeah, man, we've been in the trench for real, So to be able to have that moment, to finally have some type of championship hardware to go against our name, it's just a testament to the hard work and the dedication that we put in for this.
Sure.
You can almost say, though, that when we talk about who's an AEW original, who's not, like, when you really think about it, pandemic era is such an early part of AEW that at this point, I think you can kind of look at that era as, like, AEW Genesis. Like when you look at the original, it's like there's that short period before the pandemic, and then there's a year and a half inside the pandemic, and then coming out afterwards. I think like at this point, like you guys are like foundational members of what AEW is today.
For sure. We homegrown for real, and we love homegrown. We homegrown for real. You know what I'm saying? We started this. We started in AEW. AEW gave us our wings. You know what I'm saying? So this is big for us. You know what I'm talking about?
So on that note, because you guys have been here for such a long time that as soon as you said like, oh, we're not AEW originals, I'm like, oh my god, they're not? Like what?
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of going back in time, like Jacksonville, which is like I think at this point it's so far away, it just feels like it never happened. But I'm kind of curious, like how the two of you sort of came together as a team and how you're like the military motif kind of became who you guys are. So let's start with Captain on this one.
So we started in 2020. I was training down in Atlanta, and was at QT down at the Power Factory, and then Cody Rhodes, of course, he came through, and he was there as well, and they started the Nightmare Factory. And while the pandemic was going on, Cody and QT was like, "Hey man, there's this guy in training. He kind of does what you do. He kind of salutes a lot. He kind of salutes." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I was like, who is he? I came to training, and there was this beautiful man here, like training in the ring, doing his things. He was saluting. He was a Marine, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. At that point during the pandemic, I probably had maybe 10 different tag partners during the pandemic at that point. So Cody and QT was like, "Hey man, I got an idea for you now." So and that was the first step right there. That was the first kind of idea of the infantry right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because once you guys kind of put it out there on social media, I remember people started gravitating to the idea of the infantry, right? It was like, I remember the first moment where we saw you guys kind of together, and people, when the dark tapings would happen and people would kind of take their pictures at Universal and post them, and it's like, and people would have these ideas of what they wanted to see. And I remember people were putting anybody who had anything military adjacent. Yeah.
Everybody, man. Hey, shout out to the gang though. Hey, shout out to all our armed forces, our brothers and sisters, man. At the end of the day, they all infantry, man, but it's only the three that sit here right now, but yeah, that was the thing. Like everybody was being peace with the infantry, and that's cool. If you
even really cool. Military air, they put you in. They was like, hey, they need to be with them. That was wild.
Yeah.
I bet it's honestly it's an interesting idea for something wrestling, right? Because it hasn't been done before. Where you take people from all of these military backgrounds and you would kind of put them together, and it was an interesting idea. But at the end of the day, it's you know what? It's only these two, especially when you're around these two, and then you bring Trish Adora into the fold, and it's all right, now all of a sudden it's a party now. We know exactly what's happening here. We know who this is. We know what's happening. And so but I remember thinking it is an interesting idea.
Thank you. Yeah,
It would have
man.
been cool. It would have been cool, but it wouldn't have worked the same, yo. Me and Cap like two peas in a pod, like
Mhm.
peanut
Yeah,
butter and
man.
jelly. You know,
Joey.
like Method Man and Red Man. We hand in hand. We co and co. And like you said, to be around us to know that we always together. That's right hand, left hand. So, and I don't think that like that would have worked with anybody else. It just fit. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the time when me and Cap was coming together. Cap was real formal, and I was real out of the box. And so
Oh
we
yeah.
found out. Y'all remember that? I know
Yeah.
Aubrey remembers. So we was out of I was out of
Oh
pocket.
buddy.
You know what I'm saying? We was
Yeah.
wild, right? And it was like Cap was perfect to reel me in. And then I feel like I pulled Cap out of his box. And then we just kind of just kaboom. It just blew everything. You know what I'm saying? It just made perfect sense. And once it started clicking, boy, did it click.
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon pairing where you've got like the one guy that's kind of like more reserved, like planning world domination, and then you've got the guy that's kooky and crazy. It's like it's a tale as old as time that's sort of like, we
Mhm.
know this combination works, and it's like, well, here you go. It works
It's
in
a,
real
it's
life too.
it's almost like Pinky and the Brain, right? Where it's like
100%. 100%.
because the beauty of Pinky and the Brain, right, was that when you looked at Pinky, it was like, all right, he's out of his mind. But by the end of every episode, you're like, wait, he was right the whole time.
Come on, son. Come on, son. I be telling Cap all the time. We got the
I think
ideas.
Aubrey said something cool. It was like, yeah, you got a person that's planning world domination. He's trying to be reserved about it. He's trying to go about it in all the right ways. And then you got your partner who has the same, he wants the same thing. But he want to go through forget all the rules, forget it all. I want it right now. That's Carlie. And like he said, like we balance each other out where sometimes his ideas they work. And then my ideas when you got to go the other way, they work. But when we got to put them all together, sometimes you need a little chaos, sometimes you need a little control. We found a way over the last 5 years to mesh all that together and bring some beautiful chaos, which led to
Mhm.
us eventually getting some championship goals. So we're going to continue along that path of just bringing a little chaos and a little domination.
Yeah. Looks good on you,
Oh
by the
man.
way, buddy. I'm
Hey,
telling
thank you,
you.
man.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Six minutes been doing good. He's been doing good.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
This is 16. 16. That's what I call her. 16 Manuelera. That's my baby right there.
This is a fantastic conversation. We've got so much more to talk about. We got to talk about, we've talked about origins. We got to talk about now with Shane Taylor Promotions. But first, we got to take a quick break here on AEW Unrestricted. Stay tuned with the Infantry. AEW Unrestricted. We've got Will, we've got Aubrey, we've got Carlie, and we've got Shawn. We've got the Infantry today, which, I mean, when we booked you guys, I was like, why have we not had them on yet? This just makes all the sense in the world.
Duh.
We've had you both individually,
Yeah.
but bringing you together, as Will said in the last segment, like made all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So watching the two of you kind of grow and become a unit, when I heard that you guys were joining Shane Taylor Promotions, I'm like, oh, this is the next logical step, because you've got a guy who has always been sort of the dude to take on clients and bring them to the next level. He's got Lee Moriarty with him. Like it made all the sense in the world. So how did those initial conversations start? Well, we'll start with Carlie.
With money.
Lots of
realest answer.
Money. Yeah, dude. Like
It's the realest answer.
It was all right. So that's like the honest answer. It was a lot of money. Like he kept like blowing our phones up and telling us he had these ideas. And we did see what he did with Lee Moriarty. And honestly, let's be real. Like before Lee Moriarty, like Shane is like his clientele list is crazy. And his championship pedigree is even more crazy. His dominance has been studied. Everybody see it. You know what I'm saying? He took Mox to the limit. He took Danielson to the limit. He took Swerve to the limit. He took Hangman. He done been in the ring with all of them, right? And so everybody he bring under his wing, they go kind of crazy. And so it was that. It was the absorbent amount of money that was there, because I gotta keep stressing. There was a lot of money involved, right? And we at that point in time, me and Cap was kind of at a crossroad, really. Me, Cap, and Trish was kind of at a crossroad. We had kind of been to the dance. We didn't really achieve what we was trying to achieve as far as getting the titles off of whoever we was trying to get them off of at the time. You know what I'm saying? We felt like we was banging our heads against the wall. I just wanted to go crash out and just start beating people up. Cap said that wasn't a good idea. Trish is trying to be a little sunflower. Everything is just, we just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And something needed to change. And I felt like I was begging him to figure out like, what could we do to change the game just a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Like, being Captain America is only fun for so long. I wanted to do something. Like, let's blow something up. Let's do something. And so everything just kind of happened at the perfect mix of time. And Cap was cool with it, and Trish was cool with it, and the paperwork looked really, really good. And those checks kept clearing. And I was like, screw it, man. What you got, Bubba?
No, man, but that's pretty much what it was, man. We had been doing like he calls it, the Captain America era, where we was trying to do the right thing. Which we are. I think we even still doing the right thing right now. We just doing it in a different way. Me, Carlie, and Trish, for whatever anybody thinks, we all military, and like you say, I've come in and I'm very clean cut, I'm very professional, very formal. But there's a side of all three of us where we come from areas where a lot of people wouldn't make it out of. You know what I'm saying? So when we met Shane Taylor, and the grit, the determination, just that hard-nosed, hard style that he brings, it fit us. It fit the other side of the infantry. I tell everybody all the time, the infantry is the best version of the Expendables that you're going to have in a real life form. We're talented in every aspect of anything you can think of, from technical to smash mouth to brawler to high flying to whatever you can think of. We all excel in those areas. So with Shane Taylor Promotions, it just made sense for us all to come together and just be this real expendable group that no matter where you put us at on the card, no matter who you put us against, we're going to dominate. We're going to show just why we are who we say we are, and that's them. We are them, the hardest ever made. And that's just being what Shane Taylor was able for us to bring that out.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's talk about not just what Shane Taylor was able to bring out of you guys, but like the fans, right? You've also mentioned how you were doing the right thing, and now you're doing the right thing. But it seems like no matter what, the fans seem to be staying with you guys. And I know we talked about it a little earlier, the fans in Philly, but like they were behind you guys 100% in that match. It was like from the moment that bell rang, they wanted to see you guys walk away with the gold. How has that kind of push from the fans motivated you guys?
Man, that's special, because like we said, starting from the bottom and then building their trust. If you've seen me and Bravo's social media, me and him, we promote ourselves more than I think anybody in that company, and I stand on that. We get out there, we interact with the fans, we interact with people in person, we're putting out content, we do our own promos, we do our own videos. We care about it, and I think the fans started to see just how much we cared. And when we go out there, and the bell rings, like I said, there's nothing that's going to happen in that ring where we're not going to come out on top. Whether we win or lose, me and Bravo used to say this all the time: win or lose, we up.
Yep. Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is like Philly, the reception in Philly, or what everybody saw in Philly, was a reflection of how everybody's been feeling about us going forward. Like, I think the fans are like he said, they got behind us. They saw our hard work. Every time we had opportunity to work somebody, every match we got put in, no matter what was, like we say, top of the card, bottom of the card, collision, dynamite, no matter where you put us, we come out, we knock it out the park. We knock it out the park to the point to where like even people backstage is like, yo, like, wow, like, you get what I'm saying? And the respect and the response that, like, yo, like, yeah, when we said it earlier, we said we was doing the right thing, as in doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're shaking hands, we're kissing babies, we're doing it the right way by all standards of measure, right? But now we're doing it the right way, as in we're doing it our way. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what's right to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
still
got us
shaking hands and kissing babies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
It's
know what I'm
both.
saying? Well, we shaking businessman hands and we kissing the ladies' babies. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's just we doing it our way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's gotten. That's what's we did. Like, we joke about it, but we also the locker room's favorite people. That's what we joke about. It's because of our energy, because of who we are. Like, we really us. We don't really try to put on. You know what I'm saying? Who you get in the ring is exactly who you get all the time with me and Cap. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think the fans see and they gravitate to it. The fans recognize the real. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? They recognize who've been working or who've been trying or who've been coming, who've been banging their head against the wall to make it happen. And they see us with that and they respect that. I think they do. You know what I mean? Because they rocking with us really tough. You know, I love it.
And I think you kind of touched on something really important there, because I was having this conversation with someone in the locker room recently. Like, it's hard to project confidence on TV if you're not already confident. And part of that confidence comes from having the support in the locker room. Like, if you've got that, getting the fans on board is so much easier because you know you're doing the right thing. So it's like having that awesome crowd in Philly is just a demonstration that you guys have been putting in the work and that people have recognized the work that you're doing and been giving you the opportunities. As Will said, like, most number of title opportunities that you guys had, and you like finally got over that hill and you're there, and it's great. And you guys have had opportunities on ROH, you've had opportunities on Collision, ROH pay-per-view, like all this sort of stuff. So, I mean, I've got a number of matches here that you guys have done. Like, your first ROH win on Honor Club was against the Kingdom. Collision, you guys were facing House of Black. Like, all of these matches, has there been any sort of match for each of you that has taught you something or like brought you to that next level where you guys are at now?
We're going to say the same match. We're going to say the same match. FTR. Hey,
it's
man.
Always FTR.
We went 17 minutes with the greatest tag team on the planet, and they beat the dog snot out of us, but we learned so much, and we didn't give up. You know what I'm saying? We didn't give up. We took them. We almost had them. You know what I'm saying? That match changed everything for us. You know, our tons of matches with the Kingdom and all of them. We learned so much, but that FTR match changed everything for us.
FTR, the Kingdom is like, it's like our greatest rival.
I was gonna say that's your dance partner.
That's we're destined to do that forever. You know, forever. But the FTR match was like our coming out party. That was like our first big soiree into Dynamite, you know, into the big time. You know, we finally had got up to the main card, and we was able to show. That was our first time showing the AEW fans really on a grand scale what the Infantry was versus what they knew us before. You know, so now we're coming back on, and we just, you know, most of the times that we were on TV, we were in like, you know, enhancement matches, squash matches, whatever you want to call them, you know. But now this was our first time where we went 17 minutes with the greatest tag team on the planet, and we was able to go toe for toe with them, you know. And then after that match, we got so much feedback from people backstage. You know, Bryan Danielson said that, you know, we are one of the more entertaining teams on the roster, that we are showing that we belong. You know, there's nobody that's on the roster that's doing what we're doing. So from there, we was like, okay, cool, let's lean into who we are, and we started to do that.
Another one was the Paragon match when we went crazy with Roddy and Kyle.
We went
nuts on it for like weeks and weeks on end, and we held our own. You know what I'm saying? So these little they weren't just opportunities. Me and Cat worked hard for all of the partying and all of the jokes and how crazy we get down and all of our antics. We train 3 or 4 times a week. We in the gym every day. We not playing no games. This is for real. When the bell ring, we don't play.
Yeah, it is me that say, like, you know, you party and it's at 3 a.m. But that same person when we out. We right back at the gym 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, like not missing a beat.
We don't miss a beat.
Don't miss a beat. We hungry for this, and we love this. You know what I'm saying?
And we look good, baby. We look good, brother. Come on now.
Hey, man,
come on. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about that moment when you got the goal, because you know every champion I've ever talked to in the entire time I have talked to professional wrestlers, they always say the same thing, which was that moment you got the gold, you realize that's when the real work begins. So talking about, you know, it's you have that moment of satisfaction that you finally made it, you finally did it, but now we've got some real work to do. Let's talk about that real work. What is being a champion mean as far as representing Ring of Honor, and what you want to see come out of this reign?
Man, as far as being a champion, man, these belts have already seen more light of day than it's seen in the last year. So I'm gonna just start that right there. You know, we taking pictures. We out here with this belt. It's whoever want it can come get it. You know what I'm saying? Like we run to hide the Infantry outside. That's real. You know, we outside with it. So if anybody want to come and step up to us and want to challenge us, we're all for the challenge. You know, these titles need to be defended. They need to be represented. And there's nobody better to represent these titles than the two people you're talking to right now, and plus with Shane Taylor holding the other one. So for us to be in control right now of this 6-man tag division, we just putting everybody on notice. If you want it, and we here.
This is the beginning, for real, for real. What this means is more. That's really what we want. We want more. This is not even a joke. Like, we work so hard, and this is where we at. Okay, cool. All right. So now we stamp. Now everybody that ever talk about the infantry know that we nothing to play with. We got championship pedigree, that we really on it. We taking this thing, and y'all know us. Both of you guys know us very well. We not gonna stop. We going extra hard. We want more. This was just the taste. I want more. I want all of it. I want all the tag teams. I want all the trios. We want more. There's that limelight tastes nice. And me and Cap look real good. Our melanated skin, it look real good in the limelight. We glisten under that bad boy. So we want that. We want to show everybody that this is what it is. And with Ring of Honor, we've been on Ring of Honor since Ring of Honor got rebranded. This has been our home. You know what I'm saying? We've represented Ring of Honor very, very, very well.
Very well.
You know what I'm saying? Well. Very well. We want people to know that if this brand is alive and well, if you want some, come and get it. Or if you don't want to come get it, we'll bring it to you.
Hey, we'll
bring this on delivery.
That's the other thing you gotta understand. And you ain't gotta come to us. We will come to you. It's okay.
People don't even realize that run or hide. We say that because that means ROH, run or hide. Not the Ring of Honor is cool, but ROH is run or hide. The infantry is outside. That's for real. We ROH. We really out here.
Really out here. We
can do this all day.
I love the knowledge of all these new acronyms that have been added to my
really out here, run or hide. Look, that's a t-shirt, man.
Yeah.
We got to get merch on the phone. That's a great one. Oh man, this conversation's great. We've got a little bit more with the infantry. Stay tuned after the break. We're going to be talking more about them, their history, Shane Taylor Promotions, what's next for them. Just stay tuned. Come back. AEW Unrestricted, we're talking to the Infantry, the ROH 6-man tag team champions, along with them and Shane Taylor. It's just been an incredible run seeing them grow and become a more cohesive unit up to this point, but now they've hit that next level. And this is just, as they said last time, like, this is only the beginning. Like, we want more, we want a bigger taste. Hell yeah. I want to kind of step back a little bit because we've had Captain on the podcast before, but we've only had Carlie on for like a little tiny bit. So let's talk a little bit about you and your background, man. So you served as a Marine infantry combatant. You were deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, sustained some injuries, all that sort of stuff. So what is sort of how do you go from that to wrestling? Like, what's the transition there? And what have you brought from your background other than like all of this that we've talked about? Like, what lessons have you brought with you to the ring?
That's interesting question. That's a loaded question. What lessons have I brought? Hard work. I'm not even gonna be cliche about it. Not giving up, sticking to it. Marines don't quit. I think that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know you got to kill a Marine to get rid of them. You get what I'm saying? And life ain't killed me yet. You dig what I'm saying? So I got a lot of living to do. You know what I'm saying? And this was just part of it. I've always loved wrestling. I don't know. I've never in a million years would have saw myself being here. Life has a beautiful way of getting you where you're supposed to go. When I was in my high school yearbook, I wrote, when they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I wrote a professional wrestler. You get what I'm saying? So I just would have never in a million years figured I'd pull it off. I've rapped. I was a chef after the military. I've done some wild things to get myself around, you know what I'm saying, to try and stay afloat. But, COVID happened. And then next thing you know, I'm bumping into, I got people introducing me to QT and my other mentor and stuff like that. And next thing you know, this is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, and again, a testament of just the hard work and focus of just not stopping, the discipline. For real, as reckless and wild as I am, I'm mildly OCD'd and disciplined. Cap be talking about it all the time. You come in my room, everything is lined up neatly. Everything, like, everything's folded in perfect order. Like, I'm wild like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really it. Again, I can't put it up to anything else. Just working hard, never stopping, honor, courage, commitment, integrity. You know what I'm saying? Keeping my head steady, my head like focused and not worried about none of the other nonsense that could be. Because there's a lot of nonsense that comes in with this business. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm not what people expect. You know, people see me as one thing, and then they get a whole mess of other stuff. So it's that's what got me here. I would say that was fair, right? I answered it right, Cap. That was
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Well, how did that? You kind of touched on it a little bit. How did that connection with QT come about, and what was the initial, like, what made you say in those moments at the Nightmare Factory that, all right, this is it. This is what I was bred to do.
First off, shout out QT Marshall. Every time you see the infantry, we're gonna say that. Shout out QT Marshall. That's the dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He how did that happen? I used to go to a lot of wrestling shows when I was out in Atlanta a lot, like indie wrestling shows. You know, I used to be out here rapping and doing my thing. I seen Captain wrestle so many times before I even met him. You know what I'm saying? Me and Cap kind of knew about each other because I would be going to the shows. And when you see me with a bunch of other dudes that look like me showing up to an indie wrestling show, you kind of notice them.
Yeah.
Shout out A.R. Fox too. You know what I'm saying?
A.R.
My
Fox,
OG trainer.
yep.
A.R. Fox,
Yep.
my OG trainer, man.
Yep.
Proud of him, man. You know?
I used to go to all the shows and I just see them. And there's a guy out here that's really known as far as like, he has a really deep wrestling portfolio. His name is Murder One. He's a big dude on the indie wrestling scene out in Atlanta and stuff like that. And I told him when COVID happened, I was working out, I was doing my thing, and I was like, hey, man, I'm kind of thinking about, trying to stay fit and doing something. What's up with this wrestling thing? And he was like, I think that I got something for you, but I don't think that I could be the one to give it to you. I'm going to put you in touch with a friend of mine. And that friend of his was QT. You know what I'm saying? And QT met me and was like, he just shook his head and looked at me. He was like, okay. He said they were starting their first ever night. Yeah, literally. He looked at me. He was like, okay. He was like, we're starting our first ever Nightmare Factory class. I think that you have something, you could be good with this. If you could be willing to walk away from the nonsense you're doing over there and come on to this side, I think that it could be something for you. And then he introduced me to his business partner at the time, which was Cody. And Cody also was like, okay. Like he looked at me. He was like, okay, and I just worked my ass off, and I was in the very first main event of their very first show. You know what I'm saying? I graduated top of the class, and and it was just, wrestling just fit me like a glove. I'm a personality. You know what I'm saying? Being a Marine, I'm athletic as hell. I'm really nice as far as all of that acrobatics and cool stuff like that. I look like $1 million and I got the pizzazz to be able to talk. So that's really what wrestling is. I just needed somebody to teach me. I needed a mentor. I needed somebody, you know what I'm saying? And they knew I needed somebody to keep me in line. So that's how Cody, QT, and Cap all came into play. And it was just a beautiful match made in heaven with the three of them. They didn't give up on me. They kept me focused, and they taught me the game for real. And here I am.
Cap, that brings me to you because you've been established in AEW for quite some time, to the point of where you've had other roles beyond just being in the ring, and that's really what pretty much anybody who's been on the indie scene and wanting to get noticed in AEW, they know that the person they need to talk to is the captain. They know that that's the guy, right? And so that brings me to that leadership role. Like, what that responsibility, having that responsibility behind the scenes, how do you balance that with, of course, being an on-screen presence and making sure that you're also advancing yourself forward?
One of the things that I did was when, before me and Carlie went like full-time as tag team, I was kind of doing like a little singles run, doing my own thing. And during that time frame where I was kind of like by myself on the road, not really doing the tag team stuff, that's when I kind of really focused more on my backstage side. So doing everything that I was doing with AEW Together, special advisor for the veteran component for AEW Together, doing the extra enhancement talent booking and things like that. I was able to really look and see a good crop of people that were on the indies doing their thing and that was making waves and getting themselves established on the indie scene and trying to figure out where was the best place to bring them for opportunities to come in. And once I built that crop of people, once Bravo came back and we came full time, I had a nice database of people who I knew that we went to this place, I knew where to go and things like that. Now, fast forward to now with me and Bravo, it's kind of like a well-oiled machine. We kind of got our things going. We know our routines. We got everything set. Now I'm back to focusing, not necessarily, I want to say focusing on that like I wasn't focusing on it before, but now I'm really scouting. I'm seeing the indies now because me and Bravo are traveling. We're doing things on the indies. We're out here at different shows and we're seeing different things. So now, instead of me always on my phone or on my computer looking at talent on the indies, now I'm able to go out and see these people in person. Now I can see like, oh, that person is really good. The highlight they said me don't do them any justice. They really are good. I'm starting to see the different kind of talent and things like that. One of the person that I just saw who we had recently, Story Denali, 6'2", just a specimen of an athlete, and to give her an opportunity where she's able to come in and be with the premier athletes, that's incredible. Those are the things that outside of what I do with my tag team, the Hardest Ever Made, outside of what I do with them, I want to be known as someone that's given indie people an avenue to show that they belong in professional wrestling and that they belong with the best wrestlers. That is what I want to be known for also when it's all said and done.
I think that's a really good point, and that's one of the things that I love about AEW is that we do have the opportunity to do indies now and then. And because of that, we get to see the up and coming talent, see how their brains work, see how they put together matches, but you also get to give them feedback and sort of like that pay it forward of here's this knowledge I've gained from being on TV, putting together matches and wrestling FTR. And have you thought about XYZ? And it just sort of like, it's great because you're blowing people's minds with all of this. Like wrestling is completely different when it's on TV as opposed to the indies. And I think we all sort of see that the more and more reps we get in. But I love that the opportunity that you guys are basically getting to go out and work with these teams and getting the let's actually see how their brains work rather than just watching a video of their highlight reel, which I think is absolutely great.
And this free game I'm about to give you, I tell anybody who I go in the indies with, I say, man, it's nothing wrong with how you wrestle in the indies because I come from there and I did it. But I always tell them, just think about where you want to be. If you want to be a TV wrestler, don't let all your matches be indie bangers where nothing makes sense and things like that. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with that, but just think about
those are entertaining as hell.
Who do you watch on TV and see like, okay, I want to do that kind of match, and do it on the indies and see the reaction that you might get on the indies. You'll be blown away how if you did a TV style match on the indies where you said like hitting everything and doing all the things, tell a story. And see what happens with the crowd when you tell that story by the end of that match. With all the same stuff you're doing with the cool moves, if you put them in the right place and tell a story, you'll get way more bang for your buck on the indies.
Brother, I was having a conversation with someone this last week in Philly, and I was like, these indie guys don't understand, like, a superplex goes a really long way. Like,
go a long way when you put it in the right spot.
Oh, boy.
It's just like, dude, you can do some cool stuff, but like throw in a good superplex at the right time and you're going to get them biting. Right.
Hey, didn't FTR just win with a superplex splash combo this weekend? Like on Collision, they just, they won with it, they won the match with it, so go. Like.
All right. So we're getting close to the end. I want to wrap up with sort of where we see ourselves kind of going in the future as the Infantry. You guys have an incredible group with Shane Taylor Promotions. Trish Adora has been with you guys since, for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And you're now defending champions. You're now, ready, willing, able, doing all of that. So who are you looking forward to defending your titles against?
Everybody.
Give me Dark Order. Give me Dark Order. Give me the Conglomeration. Give me anybody. Give me LFI. Give me
all of them.
Give me all of them.
Give us all of them. Everybody. And that's trio stuff.
Kingdom, go get you a third. Get you a
Go
third.
Get you a third. Come holler. Yeah, even if you by yourself, jet speed, go find a friend.
Hey,
bring it on this way. You know what I'm saying? We want all the problems. Hey, FTR, go find some friends. Bring some
get a friend.
You know what I'm saying? We don't mind. We want all the smoke for everybody.
But I noticed what you were starting to say there, Carlie, because you were starting to say that, and those are just trios, because it sounds like also they don't even gotta get
trios and tag teams. We'll get busy with them.
It could be whatever. It could be.
Hey, if your partner not feeling good, we'll let Cap handle it for a second. Your other partner not feeling good, I'll come handle it for a second. Bring all of it. We want all of the problems. Me and Cap not ducking nothing. We want all. Hey, you guys know that too. Me and Cap come to work, smiles on our faces, bright eyes, like where they at. You know what I'm saying? We work with a bunch of opportunities. That's all I want.
There was a time where we was like, man, we don't know, but now.
We know
they in the pool. They in the ocean with us. We the sharks.
But also, Cap. They know too. because we get treated way differently than we ever got. Not just because of the belts, but over the last year or two, there's been a lot of respect put on our names because everybody see the work that we be doing. So tag teams they say the infantry with a little bit of, they be like, the infantry. It's not just, they put a little caution in their voice. You dig what I'm saying? Ooh, so anyway, damn, you guys get it.
This has been so good. This has been an excellent conversation, and we only barely got to scratch the surface with this one. We got to have you guys back on the show because it's never feels like enough time. But thank you for being here. I so much appreciate it.
Thank you. Shout out to Trisha Dora. Shout out to Lee Moriarty.
Shout out Lee.
Shay Taylor. We outside.
Go.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. We appreciate y'all. We love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Aubrey, Double Dub. We love you guys, man. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. The amount of times I've yelled at you guys after tag matches.
Hey, Aubrey, so now that you say that, you gave us a lot of advice too in the matches, so we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You give us
so much from
you. That I don't ever want to, discredit that. We get all this knowledge from wrestlers and things like that. But
100%.
You are one of the referees who definitely gives us a lot of knowledge when we come back.
Yeah,
you always have something, just a little tidbit. You always let us know what's going on. So you are, a part of the infantry success as well, because we think about when we're putting things together, we're out there in that ring. We look at each other on the apron and we be like, hey, yo, what Ari do? Hey,
let me tell you something. Well, you ain't never seen a woman angry until you had Aubrey yelling at you for a long 4 count. Okay, so you're not out the ring. So you're not out the ring when you're supposed to be out the ring. Hey, you ain't never seen terror like that before ever. Okay, it's terrifying.
You got 5 seconds.
What the F? I told you get out the ring. Whoa, my bad.
I always tell people, I'm very direct, but you know when I'm angry at you.
Oh, yes, you do.
People have seen it, but the infantry's probably seen it more.
Yes, we have.
Thank you to the infantry, Captain Shawn Dean, Carlie Bravo. You can follow Captain Shawn Dean on Instagram and on Twitter /X at Shawn Dean 773, and you can follow Carlie Bravo on Instagram and X at Carlie Bravo. AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. Collect your favorite wrestlers in 2025 Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autograph memorabilia or premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more, and you can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and check out video episodes on our YouTube channel so you can see the gold right here. You can see the actual belts at AEW Unrestricted. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you want to be an AEW insider, you can get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up today at AEWTix.com. And don't forget AEW Dynamite on TBS Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and streaming on HBO Max. AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT and streaming on HBO Max. Ring of Honor, where you can see these gentlemen, streams every Thursday on Honor Club. Otherwise, folks, I'm Will Washington. She is Aubrey Edwards. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.